The On2AirForms app has been redesigned for a better user experience with even more helpful features and options for your forms. There are several key differences in the new On2AirForms versus the legacy version. You no longer have to complete a form, input a job form ID. You don't have to generate a token anymore to connect to each base. You don't have to search for your field input index ID for parent fields and placeholders. The webhooks are now integrated, and you can also create what's called an output to send your data now directly into Airtable to create a new record or to update it. When transferring your forms and zaps to the new On2AirForms, you will need to transfer all of your fields at one time to the new version. The new version and the old version are not compatible, so when you create a new field in the new version, you will also need to create all your other fields. I'm going to show you how to create a select field in the new On2AirForms. We're going to be using this Airtable base, states and cities. We have our states table, which will be our select field, our cities table, which will be our subselect field, and also we're going to use the cities table to pull in a placeholder field, which will be the summary HTML field, and we'll do the next two in the next videos. In our job form, we want a user to choose a state, and then once they choose a state, this will populate a list of cities in that state. After they choose a city, they will then be given information in the city information placeholder field. When setting up our form in the old On2AirForms, we had to put in a token, and you don't have to do that in the new one. You will just connect directly to your Airtable base. For the select field, we want to pull the states table in. Our display field that we want to show in the form is actually the state field, which lists all the states. There are several other options here that we won't use in this particular one. Our value fields, we want to show the state field in the next field, and our search field will be the state field also. In the new On2AirForms, before you get started with creating a form, you want to be sure to go to the settings and connect both your Airtable account and your JotForm account. Next, you're going to connect your form to On2Air, so you'll select your connection here, choose your form here, and create a new form. Next, you will create a new field and choose the select field as your field type. Once you've created your select field in On2Air, click Update Details. From here, you will select your Airtable connection, which will pull in all of your bases. Choose your source, your base, your table, and if you need a specific view. For the search mode, you can either use search fields or a custom formula. In this case, we're going to use a field. We want to choose a field that we will search in the form. So in this case, it's going to be the states field. The search field's matching style is a new option in the new version. You can choose how you want it to search, if you want it to be an exact match, or if you want it to contain the letters in the field. For our display field, we want it to be state. For the value fields, these are the fields that we want to be shown further in the form results. So we've chosen the cities and the state. The placeholder is the text you want to show in the field while you're waiting for it to be chosen by your user. You can also add some help text. The advanced search configuration includes an option to pre-fill your form so that when you share a link and someone goes to your form, this will show them a pre-filled value that you want to be displayed in the field already. For our initial field, we want it to have a state. If we want, we could put a default value like California, which is already one of the options in the state field, and it would show the user California in the field. The dynamic filter field allows you to limit the results that are shown in your form. You can also set up specific settings for that. The advanced display configuration has several advanced options that you can customize your form even further if you choose. Some additional settings also are that you can set up the size of your fields in a more customized way. You can also set specific text placeholders in multiple different places. If you want, you can also update the JotForm meta field items from On2Air. This is what your form will look like after you've added all your new fields. We're going to choose California. We're going to choose a city that was automatically populated, and then once we've chosen that, we will have the placeholder field completed. So with the new On2Air, you have a lot more options and customization to make your forms do even more of what you want them to do. That is how you transfer your select field from the legacy On2AirForms into the new On2AirForms.